several months, I have experienced a severe level of burnout. And over that time, my house has become very messy. That being said, we need to clean it. We need to get it back in shape. I want to do as much cleaning as I humanly can while my toddler is sleeping. That way when she is up, most, if not 90-80% of my cleaning is done. With that, I have to get my butt up and start. So let's do that. I have severely been procrastinating cleaning my house. Truly, for some reason, I go through these spouts where I want everything perfectly clean, and then there are times where just life gets so busy that I don't have a moment to even really think about cleaning, which has led me to this pretty awful mess. Now, I wasn't able to capture the level that it was at, and I know everybody's version of mess and cleanliness is very different. For me, I think one of the parts about living in an old house is that it never really feels that squeaky clean. I mean, when you think about it, this house has been around for 110 years about, so it's never gonna feel dust-free. It's never gonna feel perfectly crispy. I mean, it's a 110-year-old home. I don't expect the world of it, but there are times where that does kind of get to me, where I'll never actually truly feel 1000% clean in it, which is a little bit triggering for my brain sometimes, but it's also part of what makes this house so magical and so special to live in, is that this house has so much rich, beautiful history and so much architecture that many newer homes do not have. Also, when we first bought this house, the previous owner was really bad at keeping up with it, and there was filth pretty much everywhere. We had a clause that said broom swept condition, and it was far from that. In fact, we had to actually fight to get some money to pay for a dump. That is how much stuff was not only left in this house, but just the sheer amount of garbage that was left behind by this previous owner. And part of me felt a little bit bad for this woman, given how bad things were. But also, when you buy a home, most of the time you're entering it empty. And we did not enter it empty. We had to literally spend several years, to be honest, to get it to the point where I felt like it was junk-free and previous owner-free of stuff. But to play devil's advocate with myself here, there was a lot of really great stuff that was left. For instance, the piano behind me actually was left by the previous owner, and I'm honestly really happy with it. I know some people don't care for pianos being left by previous owners. People tend to want those gone. But I've always wanted to learn piano, and I've always wanted my children to be exposed to music, as well as it feels like part of the house. It feels like if we were to get rid of it, that we would be missing something that belongs to the house, which is something, again, that I've had to navigate with an older home, is what belongs here and what can I add and what would potentially take away from the history of this house. But also, this is my house. I own this place. We pay money for this place. We take care of it. We should also be able to do with what we want with it. And that is part of the old house community that I tend to struggle with. There are a lot of people who gatekeep painting, gatekeep renovations, and I do get upset when I see people take blatant, beautiful history out of a home just for the sheerness of selling it right away. For me, that makes me very sad and depressed a bit. But there's also a level of, this is my house, I paid for it, I want to do what I want with it, and I want to renovate it and make it beautiful and make it livable for the modern day world. There were also many other blessings in disguise. For instance, they left a ton of gardening stuff, which saved us probably thousands of dollars, because they had a riding lawnmower that was completely left abandoned here that we used, and we use honestly weekly. The previous few owners prior to the one that we purchased the house from really did take good care of this house. There was one where they had a bunch of foster kids, so there was some wear and tear on the home, but I actually got in contact with the second owner of the house, and she had sent me all these photos and told me all these stories, and she's actually going to come and visit very soon and tell me some more things about the house that'll just kind of make it come alive for me. Truly, it's actually brought this house to a whole new level of love and care. I just want to renovate it even more and take better care of it, as I've already been trying to do. For instance, whenever I do house projects, I tend to do it as easily as I can, but now I want to take just a little bit extra time to really perfect each room and take care of each room. For instance, covering up cracks and covering up holes. Sometimes, if I'm being honest, I would be a little bit lazy with it and I wouldn't actually fully take care of every little nook and cranny. But now that I have learned more about this house's history, it's given me so much more respect for it, and I want to honor that by taking better care of it and just cleaning it more. I feel like the hamster wheel of trying to balance everything has really gotten to me, and so now I realized, okay, I've been in this very creative spark, but that doesn't mean I should ditch my house. I think with ADHD, I tend to hyper-focus on one specific part of my life, whether that be the family part, the creativity part, the home part, the friends part. I mean, there's so many elements to my life that I want to nourish and take care of, but that means a lot of times the other parts tend to get a little bit fallen behind, if you will. And since I've finally had this new spark for making content and creating and just really honing in on videography skills and editing skills, I've really just sort of let go of other parts of my life, which I know is a very normal part of being human. But I think that I have been really trying to learn how to just balance more of my life in a better and healthier way, because I tend to have this all or nothing mentality, which isn't very sustainable, because then I end up getting burnt out in each area rather than having them all sort of watered, if you will. In my next upcoming videos, I have a very exciting announcement, which I think will allow me to truly finally find a lot more balance in my life, and it has been such a bittersweet journey. And with this change has kind of opened up the floodgates of ideas. I don't even know if it's a good or bad thing at times. It's fun, but it's definitely a bittersweet thing as well, where I get so many ideas at once that it almost becomes overwhelming, and I have a hard time prioritizing which idea is the most pressing at the moment. I would love to start a conversation below and ask you guys, do any of you struggle with that, where there are just so many things in your mind, things to pursue, that you almost are left paralyzed or have a hard time choosing which one is the most important to you? One of the projects that I have been really kind of getting interested in starting again is making art. I have always really enjoyed making art, and I tend to go through phases where I do it a lot and then I kind of stop and then I do it a lot. And there's been this newfound desire to start again. And getting further into that, I really want to illustrate and write a children's book at some point in my life. Whether that be in a year from now, 6 months from now, a month from now, or even 10 years from now, it's something that has always been really interesting to me and intriguing to me, especially now that I have so much experience working with children and learning what books they tend to really enjoy. But I do have a lot of imposter syndrome with it. I used to do art all the time, and I was always fairly good at it. But now I see so many artists that are just so good at what they do. I don't know that I'm really at that level anymore, especially since I haven't really been practicing. But the exciting thing is that with me working on my office, which by the way is almost done, I'm so excited about it, it's giving me this blank slate, beautiful place to do things like this and explore. Even if I never actually put it out there, it would be really cool to print a few copies, give them to my children, give them to my nieces and nephews, and just have this kind of cool project that's all for me. I would not mind that either. Though there is a little part of me that really does enjoy feedback and knowing that something I've made actually resonates with others. It's the toss between being seen yet hidden, and it's something that I've really been working towards changing in myself. I've always kind of been someone who hides, even though I never really want to hide. I truly don't. In fact, I get mad at myself when I do hide, and I've always felt that way. I came across a video of myself. I think I'm turning 3 years old. It's my own birthday party. The entire festivity is supposedly to be about me. But yet, when it came to my birthday song, which, let's be real, I think most children don't like being sung to at a birthday party, but it was my birthday party, and people were singing to me, and it came to the point where I had to blow out my birthday candles. And I wouldn't. I was so shy and so almost afraid of people seeing my enjoyment and seeing me engage in this activity and in this, exciting thing, that I wouldn't pursue in it. I wouldn't do anything about it. I wasn't blowing out my own candles, which was so weird to see from an outside bird's eye perspective, because I've always felt that way, but then to see a 3-year-old version of myself unable to enjoy something, unable to pursue something that I wanted to do. I know myself, and I knew that I wanted to blow out those candles, right? Like, what kid doesn't want to dive into a birthday cake and blow out their candles and actually enjoy that? But there was some sort of inner voice that hasn't and will not let me do things. And I've been really working to try and work through that. For any of you who have maybe dealt with the same thing, I would love to know any advice that you guys have to sort of embrace you and not to be afraid. As corny as it sounds, one of the things that has really helped me over these past few months is just reminding myself that this is my life, this is my one chance at being me and who I am in this body, and to just let myself be that person in this body. And I know it's so corny to be like, you live once. I don't know if I necessarily believe that concept, but still, that has really pushed me to embrace as much of me as possible. Now, there are moments where I kind of shut down, but I really have been trying to avoid shutting down so much, because I want to be and have fun, because it's not fun to hide. It's not fun to be afraid. It's not fun to live in fear of enjoying your life and showing people that you enjoy your life. And sometimes I feel like, am I being cringy, or am I being this or that? And there will always be somebody who doesn't like you for whatever reason, whether that is a valid reason or not. There will always be people that don't care for you or your personality, that don't like what you have to say, or how you dress, or how you look, or even just your person. This journey has been so remarkable and so freeing. I feel so much more free and at peace with myself. And if you are struggling with this, if any of you feel almost like you are locking yourself in your own cage, in your own mind, while it can be incredibly lonely, know that you are not alone, that there are so many people who feel exactly like you, which I think helps you not feel so isolated with yourself. And I hope that this helps. I hope that any of you who are listening who've dealt with this find some peace after listening and can kind of go in and start to conquer the world and just do things for you and embrace you, because you matter and you are allowed to be seen. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I love making these clean with me videos. It's like a body doubling sort of thing that just keeps me motivated and keeps me going, and I'm just so excited about it. But I did want to let you guys know that there are many videos that are very different from this that are coming up that I'm very excited about. The one of them is my office. I'm finally renovating it, and I'm so excited to share that video with you guys. I also want to do a whole kitchen organize and clean with me. My kitchen is obviously clean now, but I do still need to organize it like crazy. Like I said, over the last few months, my house has just sort of tumbled downwards in terms of the cleanliness and the organization of it. Another video that I have been working on for you guys is a sunroom renovation video. That room is coming along really well. I still have to organize in it yet, and I have to get some furniture for it and some decorations for it because it's pretty empty right now. We've already been using it as much as we can, but it still needs to be organized. So those are some things you guys can look forward to. Thank you guys so much for coming to my channel and spending some time with me, and I hope to see you guys very soon.